imagine you are watching a movie at the cinema, and it's a movie about aliens being, being what aliens are, and that's to abduct humans, and they abduct a bunch of humans. Let's say it's a team of 5 aliens on the ship, and they've abducted 35 humans, and then they're on their way to their planet. They've taken all these humans, they're going to their planet, and then you as you're watching this movie, then the thing unfolds and the humans start taking over the ship as they get closer to the home planet of these aliens, which then makes them not aliens and makes the humans aliens. But okay, bear with me. Then you continue watching this movie, and what happens is the aliens, they are notified that, hey, the humans have taken over the ship, and then chaos ensues. Now there's a chase, and all the other ships are chasing the ship that the humans are flying. And while all of this is happening, the humans are not even focused on the real issue. They focused on, hey, you can't fly this thing properly, I'm gonna take over. That's just how people are. That's just humans. Humans being humans, or humans being aliens on another planet but still being humans. Anyways, then they're being chased, and they get shot by a gun, and this gun, instead of destroying the ship, for some reason, it shrinks the ship, and the ship is like this small now. And then, as that happens, now they have to fly in between little things that are being chased. They have to find a space, a spot, get into a little rat hole, or find a space in between a cupboard, or between a cave. And on this planet, they have this hugely advanced technology. They've got spaceships, and they've got guns that shrink spaceships, and they can abduct humans, but they live in the ruins. Like if you go to in like the jungle, then there's the vines and the trees all covering this place, and it's all like mossy and it's like just imagine that. And that's where these people live. So you just flying around in this ruins, and you don't know what's what, and that's the movie. But anyways, however the movie ended, just bear with me, just keep imagining with me. Then you leave the film now. Okay, the movie's done, you go on with your life. And then you walk out of the cinema, and then you see 2 guys that look just like those aliens in that movie. They're green, they have these facial features, and they've got the horns on their faces and all that, and funny looking ears and all that, and that's just aliens. That's how they look. And then you have these 2 guys that look just like them, and you look and you're like, whoa, and they're looking right at you. Like they're not even trying to act like they're not looking at you. They are looking at you. Then you look away, and then you look again, and then they're gone. You're like, whoa, what's going on? It's like, okay, the movie's just playing with me. And then it happens again a few times, and you're like, what's going on? Then you find yourself in a sort of a cafeteria area, and as you're in this cafeteria, everybody's eating, everybody's acting normal, and you're just like, okay, instead of going on, why am I here? How did I get here? You're just like, okay, let me just eat. And then the food is like average, it's not great, but it's not terrible. And then you look around, and then you're like, some of the aliens are here, but the aliens are dressed differently than how we are dressed. We look like prisoners. And then your mind immediately goes back to the movie. You're like, what's going on? And then everybody, while you're eating, everybody's looking at you weird, and you're like, what's going on, guys? And then they're like, your face is changing, dude. Something's happening. And then you feel like, oh, my face is feeling like almost, there's horns growing out of your face, and your cheeks are feeling weird, and you look at your hands, and the color's changing, and then you look at some reflective surface, and you're like, I'm changing into one of them. And then you wake up from your dream. And that's how I woke up yesterday morning. So, yeah. Firstly, I want to say thank you for all the support. It's been tremendous. It's been amazing. I honestly did not see it coming. I did not anticipate the level of support that I have received from you. So thank you all for the feedback, the wonderful feedback that you've given. Thank you all for just watching, the podcast and supporting it. And thank you all for really engaging with me about this. And I know that this is early days and it's going to grow, and I am very fortunate and I appreciate the fact that you are, you started this journey with me and you're going along for the ride, and I appreciate that very much. But if you do like this show and you want to support it even more, please do subscribe to the channel. That really helps me, because every bit of support that I get helps the show to continue going. So please do subscribe, and please share it with as many people as you can. Don't bother people with it, but if someone wants to, if you think that there's someone that might enjoy the content that I produce, this show that I produce, then please feel free to share it with them. I think that it would be amazing if that level of support can be translated into me being able to financially support the show and grow it in that way. And every little bit helps. Every subscription, every share, every post that gets shared. I make these little clips. I try and clip it up and the show, and then post it on my socials. So please do check on my channel the socials that you can follow there, and please do share the posts that I've sent there as well, because that helps this thing to keep going. With that being said, shout out to everybody who was born in November, and in the context of Valentine's Day coming up, I'm sure you can just think a little bit and understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. So shout out to everybody born in November, and have a lovely day after you listen to this. But with Valentine's Day coming up, I decided to get all nicely dressed a little bit, just to clean up a little bit, I thought, okay, I just look nice a little bit, as if I were on a Valentine's date. Although I'm not sure I would wear the red tie. The red is just to keep into the theme of Valentine's, the month of love. And that's just the marketing strategy that just goes along. But what I find strange, actually, going to like the commercial side of life, because that's what businesses do. They use these events as marketing tools to sell certain products. And one thing I find so strange is that all the clothing companies, for some reason, all these clothing companies are advertising underwear, and that just blows my mind, dude. So, a kid growing up is like, okay, Valentine's is about underwear. It's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous, man. Like, it's so blatant, and it's so silly. But anyways, Valentine's Day. I wonder what Valentine's is about. Let's do a little Google search here, huh? Let's just type in Valentine's Day. I guess we'll read the Wikipedia entry. When I was at university, they were like, don't use Valentine's. Don't use Wikipedia to do your research. And I'm just like, why not, man? It's pretty solid, It's referenced everything. I know that people are able to edit it, but who really has the time to edit certain, important information? Plus, if you're researching something for an assignment, dude, I 100% guarantee that you're probably not going to read something that someone has edited just to be malicious. So, it's silly. But anyways, enough of that commentary. Let's see. Valentine's Day, also called Saint Valentine's Day. Oh, so there's a saint here involved. Okay. Or the Feast of Saint Valentine. I didn't know it was called that. Okay. Is celebrated annually on February 14. It originated as a Christian feast day honoring a martyr named Valentine. And through later folk traditions, it has also become a significant cultural, religious, and commercial celebration of romance and love in many regions of the world. Okay. But I really want to know more about... I really want to know... Oh, here we go. There are a number of martyrdom stories associated with various Saint Valentines connected to February 14th. So there's various Saint Valentines. Okay, that's not a good sign. How do we know what's for real and what isn't? Including an account of the imprisonment of Saint Valentine of Rome for ministering to Christians persecuted under the Roman Empire in the 3rd century. Now that was a long time ago. How do we know? According to an early tradition, Saint Valentine restored sight to the blind daughter of his jailer. Whoa! Numerous later additions to the legend have better related it to the theme of love. Yeah, I must say that has nothing to do with love. Tradition maintains that Saint Valentine performed weddings for Christian soldiers who were forbidden to marry by the Roman Empire. An 18th century establishment to the legend claims he wrote the jailer's daughter a letter signed "Your Valentine" as a farewell before his execution. Okay, I'm still very lost. I have no idea. Okay. The 8th century Galatian sacramentary recorded the celebration of the feast of Saint Valentine on February 14th. The day became associated with romantic love in the 14th and 15th century, when notions of courtly love flourished, apparently by association with the lovebirds of early spring. So lovebirds is a real thing? Okay, I'm not going to go into the rabbit hole of Wikipedia. There's all these links, so you press on that and you read another article, and you press on that and you read another article, then you look up and the world is ended because you were stuck inside Wikipedia. Anyways, Valentine's Day symbols that are used today include the heart-shaped outline, doves, and the figure of the winged Cupid. In the 19th century, handmade cards gave way to mass-produced greetings. In Italy, St. Valentine's keys are given to lovers as a romantic symbol and an invitation to unlock the giver's heart. Oh, that's so sweet. As well as to children to ward off epilepsy. What? Epilepsy. Okay. This is a mess. St. Valentine's Day is not a public holiday in any country, although it has an official feast day in the Anglican Communion and the Lutheran Church. Many parts of the Eastern Orthodox Church also celebrate St. Valentine's Day on July the 6th. Why? In honor of Roman presbyter St. Valentine. And on July 30th in honor of the Hieromartyr Valentine, the Bishop of Interamna. Modern term. Okay, that was not informative. I like history. I'm a big fan of history. I like watching documentaries. I've watched documentaries about the Roman Empire. I've seen documentaries about World War II. Those are really cool. Really one of the worst times in human history, I think. And so those historical documentaries are for me quite interesting. But okay, what else? Valentine's Day, what else? I guess a lot of people are going to go on dates. And if you have someone to go on a date with, fantastic, good for you. I myself am also going to be going out on a date on Valentine's Day, and that's going to be fun, just a nice day to make someone feel extra special. But I really don't think you need to necessarily be with someone to have a special Valentine's Day. You could be your own Valentine's. You could go and walk in the mall and just hold your own hand and maybe just give yourself a nice touch and say or hold your own hand in the mall, and when you walk past like a window or a mirror, you say you just give some just date yourself, man. Just go out and be your own Valentine's. Get yourself a gift, and then you open and you say, for me, you can do that. Why not? I can't see that this is a day that needs to necessarily be miserable. I mean, we just read about the history of this thing. It doesn't really talk about couples except the idea of lovebirds, and that's something that came up in the 14th and 15th century, way far ahead of the original story of Saint Valentine. So you really use this as an excuse to love yourself, treat yourself well, and you should do that every day. Actually, it's just to be good to yourself, and go out and go date yourself, man. Go take yourself out to lunch and really don't care about what people think or what people say. Don't care about what society thinks, because that's not even an opinion. Society is made up of billions of people, and even if there is an agreed upon institution, you as an individual don't have to accept it. You don't have to accept it at all. You can, it's not rules. It's not rules. Rules are there to protect. But the rules of society, man, a lot of it is just nonsense, to be honest. And I think it's time that we question these things more often and question them more openly. So when it comes to Valentine's Day, don't fool yourself in thinking that you have, I have to ask someone out. Although, if you want to ask someone out, you should do that. You should 100% do that. And I think if there's somebody out there that that you fancy, if someone's like, oh, that's a really beautiful man, or that's a beautiful girl, depending on what you're into, and you can be into whatever you like. That's part of your freedom as a person. But if there's someone that you wanna approach, I say go for it. But only go for it if you can accept that it might not go the way you want it to. And that's true for many things in life, whether it's an opportunity that you feel is worth pursuing, whether it's a path that you feel, man, I need to go this direction in my life. Whether it's a dream or a goal that you feel I have to put effort in to achieve it, I say go for it. I think the worst kind of people out there is the ones that tell you that it's not going to work out. When you tell them this is what I want to do, that's the worst thing ever. The world needs a lot more encouragement than it needs discouragement, because we all are able to bring ourselves some discouragement. And I think encouragement can really be even just part of loving somebody. And if you love people, and if you love the idea of success, then you are going to encourage success in others. And whether it's in the realm of dating, in the realm of finances, in the realm of taking a huge risk that you feel is going to pay off, whether it's pursuing a lifestyle that you feel is for you, whether it's pursuing goals that are necessary for you to achieve a dream, then go for it. And if people don't tell you to go for it, I'm telling you now, just go for it, because this was a dream. Some of my friends that I've spoken to over the last few years, I've spoken to them about doing this, and I never got to do it, whether it was through circumstance or whether it was just through my own head. Eventually I decided to do it. And if you get stuck in that, then how long is it going to take for you to eventually get there? I've wasted years now where I could have done this a few years ago. A lot of my friends, I don't have many friends, but a big percentage of them will be able to recall the conversations we've had and be like, wow, we should have just recorded that, And I decided, okay, I'm not going to do it by myself. If I have to do it by myself, then so be it. And I decided, okay, let me do it. And once I'm able to have the facilities to accommodate, a guest, then that's now a level up for me. And I'm very excited in doing that. But it's not going to stop the solo episodes. I kind of enjoy doing this, on my own. But it would be cool to have guests once I can accommodate them. Where was I going with this? Okay, welcome to the show. For those of you who have never watched the show before, this happens often, where I go on a tangent and I cannot find my way back. And that's fine. And that's perfectly fine. So yeah, Valentine's Day. Oh yeah, this is what I was saying. Shoot your shot, okay? Ask that person out. But be wise, use wisdom. If that person is in a relationship, or if that person has never shown interest in you, then, use wisdom. Use conventional wisdom and say, okay, I'm not sure this is going to work out, but sometimes you just need to take a leap of faith. With that being said, take a leap of faith and just see what happens. Just be willing to accept that things might not go the way you expected. Life doesn't work that way. So if you're willing to be okay with the outcome, shoot your shot anyways. If you have nothing to lose, except maybe your pride being wounded a little bit, that's fine. As human beings, we do have pride, but you shouldn't have pride. You know, pride is one of those cardinal sins. You know, the deadly sins, the 7 deadly sins. Pride is one of them. So why do you want to have pride? You know, if you drop your pride and you are willing to, you know, replace that with humility and be like, hey, I've noticed that you've been checking me out and I've been checking you out, or rather, you know, I think you're a very beautiful man or very beautiful woman, and I find you interesting and I'd like to get to know you better. Could we hang out sometime? Or what are you doing Valentine's? You could walk up to someone and say, what are you doing Valentine's Day? You know, just, you could be aggressive about it or you could be subtle about it. But either way, just shoot your shot, man. Shoot your shot this Valentine's Day, and if that is if you reach any level of success in that, then congratulations. I said last week that I'm gonna get like a sort of a hotline going, and where you could submit voice notes to me. You could I could pose a question and then you could answer it, and or you could ask me a question and then I can answer it on the show if it's a good question. And the hotline is 072-012-1804. So that's 07-2012-1804. And if I'll put that on the screen as well. The question that I want to ask: what is your best or your worst Valentine's? Just tell me about that. What's your best or your worst Valentine's Day? And like I said, besides that, if you have any sort of questions for me, if you have something to say, something that might spark a thought in me, an interesting thought that you might have had based on what you've watched in this episode, please feel free to send it to that number on WhatsApp. Just on WhatsApp. Send that to me on WhatsApp, and then I'll be happy to include that in the show. Also, I just shared an interesting story about a dream that I had. That's probably one of the wildest dreams I've ever had in my life. So please do tell me about what's your wildest dream. What's the wildest dream you've ever had? You know. So please do that. What else can we say about Valentine's Day? Well, I guess everything is just more expensive on Valentine's Day, isn't it? A bouquet of flowers that's normally like 100 rand, 120 rand is now like 300, 400 rand, and that's ridiculous. Or just a soft toy, a nice little teddy bear, and for some reason it's always a white teddy bear. And it's strange, why white? But I guess those are just the part of the color scheme, of Valentine's Day. How did that even happen that it's all about love? I want to Google that, but nah, you Google that for yourself. Valentine's Day is a very weird day. I think it's where everybody decides to lose their minds. I'm sure there's a lot of people who experience anxiety on these types of days. We're like, I should have a Valentine's date. I don't know what I'm gonna do without one. And some people they get cynical about it. It's like, it's not Valentine's Day, it's the 14th of February. It means nothing to me. Like, come on, just be a good sport about it. Don't be bitter. And it's always funny when people are bitter, because it's clearly a projection of feelings onto a day. To be honest, a normal day. The only thing that really happens is that it's a commemoration of who knows what, because we've read a lot of confusing history about Valentine's Day, and none of it really adds up, to be honest. And now I'm really starting to think about what I said earlier about Wikipedia. Like, maybe people are everyone gets a chance to enter something into Wikipedia, and then it becomes a whole thing about I want to say this about Valentine's Day. So I guess there's no real general consensus among historians about what the history of Valentine's Day is really all about. But it doesn't change the fact that this is in today's day and age, this is what Valentine's Day is about. Gifts is what it's all about. Everything is about a gift, isn't it? So when it's Valentine's Day, it's a gift day. Someone must get gifts. Someone must give gifts. And I think, if you have to choose between being a giver and a receiver, I would say be a giver. I think giving is much more pleasant than being a receiver. And I think, I can't speak for the ladies, but as a man, it feels a lot better to be giving someone a gift than to be receiving it, because if you're in a relationship or have been in a relationship, you can tell that for men it's very awkward. They don't know how to feel, they don't know how to deal with it, they don't know how to respond. When they receive a gift, they're just like, oh, thank you, and then in your head, you're like, oh, he hates the gift that I got him. And it's like, no, he doesn't hate the gift, he just doesn't know how to react to receiving a gift, because for men it's like we're hardwired in our brains to be providers, to be givers, and to be receivers is almost goes against our nature. Speaking of gifts, I remember receiving some pretty lame lame Valentine's gifts in the past. I remember I dated this girl a while back, a very long time ago. I say a while back, but it's a very long time ago. And Valentine's Day comes around, and I'm like, okay, perfume, flowers, pampering gifts. Like, cool, that's the gift. Okay, what do I get? A t-shirt. Is it a Valentine's t-shirt, Xavier? No, it is not. Is it a cool t-shirt at least? No, it's not. This t-shirt is like off green. They're just that color. Just that color that army people wear. And I'm like, oh, you have to be nice. When you receive a gift, you can't be ungrateful. You're just like, oh, thank you. This is awesome. This is the best gift I've ever gotten. No. And then, okay, then that relationship starts and ends. Then a new one starts, and you know what I get for Valentine's Day? Another t-shirt. Another t-shirt, dude. And you might say, oh, but was it like a cool t-shirt? Did it have like some kind of cool design? Was it like a superior quality? No, it wasn't. Was it the jersey of your favorite football team? No. Also, no, it wasn't. It was just a random t-shirt. And that's like, okay, wow, that's gifts. And I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there who can relate to this. A lot of ladies are not great gift givers. So maybe you could also send it into the hotline. What is the worst gift you've ever received on Valentine's Day? I would love to hear the things you have to tell me, because I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who have received just the most ridiculous Valentine's Day gifts. And please don't tell me about your best Valentine's gift. Nobody wants to hear that. Anyways, Valentine's Day, man. But since then, Valentine's has improved for me. My girlfriend and I, we kind of try to top each other every year with gifts. So there's a certain competitive spirit, a friendly competitive spirit, that she and I, that's part of the dynamic in our relationship. And it's quite fun to do, because now it's like, okay, this is what she got last year for me, or this is the Christmas gift she got. So now, okay, Valentine's has to top that. And she's definitely thinking the same thing. So then when birthdays come around, okay, Valentine's was this gift and it was really cool that I received. Now I have to give her an even better gift, And it's not about like value or more expensive or less expensive. It's just about what would blow this person away even more. And so we've been topping each other like each other's gifts in a big way, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to go this year, and I'm also looking forward to see how it's going to go in the years to come, because that's going to be an interesting thing to behold. Imagine one day just buying each other like, here you go, I bought you a yacht. It's like, oh, that's nothing. Here you go, I bought you an airplane. Oh, that's nothing. I bought you a building. Oh, that's nothing. I bought you the planet. Like, that's just, yeah. That should be cool. That should be cool. But anyways, Valentine's Day, huh? Valentine's. So yeah, that's the kind of the thing about the episode. That like just the central theme that I thought would be cool, since it's Valentine's week, and that's gonna be a thing that's on a lot of people's minds, I think. And yeah, I guess growing up, I always just thought, okay, Valentine's is just a day to give someone a present, you know. And at school, they would like say your mother's your Valentine. You'd be like, what? You know, because you know, based on movies and based on popular culture, you're like, it's a romance. It's a romance thing. But then at school, they're like, if you give us 5 rand, you can give a chocolate to your mother. And then you're like, I don't want to do that. I want to give it to someone else. And I usually did. Shame. My mother never really got Valentine's things from me. You know, I remember once in high school, then there was this sort of promotion going on. And there would be like, you can send balloons and I don't know what, was it like a lolly or something? Balloons and a lolly for pay 50 rand or 100 rand or however much it was. And send a balloon and a lolly to your Valentine or to your secret Valentine, and you could you could keep it anonymous, or you could keep it or you could put your name on it and things. And I thought, okay, what would be a cool way to mess with people? And then I decided, okay, fine, I sent it to whoever I was dating at the time. But then I was also like sending it to random people just in my class, just to watch them be confused, or to see how whoever they were dating gets angry, like, who's sending you just stuff, That's always find a way to have fun, and that's just me. I'm always looking for ways to have fun, even if it's just just for me personally. I think that's the first time I've ever told anybody this. Well, I guess this is a good place to confess things. So yeah, there's my confession for the day. That's really fun. I saw this video a while back. I wish I could show you, but I don't have the setup right now to be able to do that. But I saw this video. I think it's like a British guy, and he lives like in a those duplexes where there's people living upstairs and there's another living arrangement downstairs and stuff. And he said on Valentine's Day this video was like a Valentine's theme type of thing. And he says him and his neighbor and his wife, or his neighbors, husband and wife, they have been having a lot of issues lately. They've been having some real arguments and things. And because he lives upstairs from them, he can hear them all the time. And he decided, okay, he's bored, he has nothing to do, and he's been bored for a while. So he's like, come and send flowers to the wife downstairs. And then he put a note there that said, I really miss our time together, just that. And then put the name there, whatever. And obviously it's not his name, it's someone else's name. And then he just opens his window, and then you can just hear them, wow, what do you mean this, what do you want? They were just going on. And honestly, I don't condone that kind of behavior. I think it's really bad to do that, but that's also hilarious. Like, the fact that there are people out there who find that entertaining, that entertains me in and of itself, just the fact that somebody's that audacious like that's really cool. Like, I love that sort of spirit, the spirit of audacity, the spirit of doing something that most other people would never even think of doing, That's always a fun thing for me. Oh, that's hilarious. Anyways, so yeah, that's quite an interesting thing about Valentine's Day. I wanted to share what happened in church. Actually, I think I'll be doing that in every episode because it's Monday. It is Monday the 12th of February, and 7 days ago was the first episode. I managed to only post it on Wednesday, but this one you can expect to be posted today. What was I saying now? Oh my goodness, I completely forgot. What is it? Oh, church. My brain. Yeah, church was awesome. Church is normally awesome. Sometimes church is boring, and that's okay. I mean, I don't think you go to church to be entertained. And if you do go to church to be entertained, you should really, just rethink your priorities there, because that's not a place for entertainment, and it's a place to receive the word of God, to be renewed in your spirit, to be strengthened by the words that can carry you on for the next the next time that you receive the word. So yeah, it was an interesting service. It was all about praising the Lord, actually, and how important that it was from Psalm 150. I think it's Psalm 150 verse 1 and 2. But the whole psalm is cool because it's like, praise the Lord in His temple, in the place where He is, because that is where you go to experience the presence of the Lord. And that's a good place to go and praise somebody. Imagine speaking good about people and then they never hear it because you never say it around them. That's wild. So you go to the person's house, you say, hey, well done, you did this amazing job, you are amazing, you are wonderful. And that's what we do when we go there. And what I love about the psalm is that it's very much music related, because that's probably the biggest way that you can bring your praise and adoration to the Lord is to pray about it. Now I look like a preacher so much because I'm wearing a shirt and tie. There's a lot of ways you can look like this. Okay, shirt and tie. Okay, I'm an announcer now. I'm a commentator. And there, Drickus Duplessis is kicking Sean Strickland in the face. And it doesn't look good for Sean, Shout out to Drickus, well done for winning. Congratulations on being the middleweight champion of the world in the UFC. I'm not a big UFC fan, but I am. But I do enjoy watching the fights. So now and then, sometimes it gets a bit too brutal. People are just, dripping with blood in it. Oh, it's too much for me, man. In a movie, I can watch, that level of violence, but knowing it's real, it kind of makes me a bit sick. So now and then, when they say on the news like this is not for sensitive viewers, then I'm like, okay, then I get up and go, because I don't like sensitive viewing stuff. I am a sensitive viewer, so I really don't like watching anything that's like gory or gruesome or any of those types of things. Like it doesn't entertain me. And it makes me feel sick. Even just talking about it now, I literally feel, some weird feelings here in my stomach, or that could just be hunger. Who knows? Anyways, where was I? Church, praising the Lord. Praising the Lord. So the service goes on about praising God and using the gifts that you were given to serve Him, and in that way you're praising God, even through loving your neighbor, even through loving, your enemy. Loving your enemy is more difficult than loving your neighbor, and that's why there's more blessings in it. That's why Jesus said, yes, love your enemy, but love your neighbor, but love your enemy as well, because that is obviously a bigger blessing. It's more difficult to do, and there's a big trend when it comes to maybe not just Christianity, but just through improving your life, improving yourself, improving your soul, is when you are able to go against your nature. Because us as human beings, according to God, our nature is to be sinful. And what elevates you is to be able to, within yourself, overcome the temptation of sin and not fall into it. Because when you fall into it, that's easy, that's natural. The challenge and the effort required is being able to overcome our nature. It's the same with exercise. It's not in our nature to exercise. It's not in our nature. All we want to do is survive, first of all, and eat. You want to eat food, that's your survival, and you want to work so that you can maintain your survival. That's our nature as human beings. And there's more to our nature, obviously, but just for the sake of this example. And what is more rewarding than that is to go against your nature. So it's like, okay, I include exercise in my routine, in my daily routine. And when you do that, now you have results. Now you're stronger physically. You maybe look better and therefore feel more confident, right? And that serves you in huge ways. Just an hour of exercise almost every day. You could literally do 3 to 4 hours a day. 3 to 4 days a week, not hours a day. Imagine that. That's insane. You should not be working out that long. If you are, congratulations. I don't know. I don't have a prize to give you, but if you want one, I guess you could send in an email or something, which I'll probably ignore. But anyways, to go against your nature in that way has bigger benefits than just your survival. So likewise, when it comes to loving your enemy, that's the effort there, and effort is always something that the Lord will bless. So you put in that effort to go to your enemy and say, I forgive you, or just to make peace with that person and say, hey, I know that we have had issues in the past, but let's put it behind us. Let's move forward together in harmony. There might be times where there will be friction, and that's okay. Now you get even a bigger blessing, which is another opportunity to forgive that person, or to have that person forgive you, and for you to overcome the thing that makes you enemies in the first place. And enemies are actually a great thing. Enemies are actually a really great thing, because there is nothing that pushes you to be better than your enemy. There's nothing that someone who can call you out on everything you do wrong. A lot of us don't want to hear, I don't want to hear anything that I'm doing wrong. That's self-conscious nonsense, and it's weak. Honestly, it's weak. You should be able to hear that as a fulfilling human being, someone who wants to be fulfilled. You should be able to take what people say, especially the negative stuff. You should be able to take that and say, okay, maybe this person is just using this to break me down, but if I'm being honest with myself, could there be something that people are saying about me that can indicate to me that there's a way that I can improve myself? Because I think we should always be looking for ways to improve ourselves. That otherwise it's like, it's a sink or swim situation. If you're not swimming, you're sinking. And what are you going to choose? Are you going to now not swim? Because that's now moving backwards. There's no middle ground, unfortunately. You're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. You cannot be stationary. Time passes. Life goes on. And if you decide, no, this is where I stand, this is where I am, then you get left behind, because everybody else wants to move forward. Everybody else wants to improve themselves. So I think that's the value of an enemy. It's good to have enemies, and maybe that's why you should love your enemies, because that's someone who can push you further. That's someone who can push you to being better than what you are, to being more than what you are, because they are going to be honest about what's wrong with you. And sometimes, and I think that's also a good thing to have in a friend. And if you truly want to be somebody's friend, then you tell them if there's something that's seriously a problem. You say, listen, man, there's this thing that you do, and you it's not serving you, it's not doing well for you, and if you keep doing this, it might be bad for all of us, or bad for you. And as a friend, you could just tell that person, hey, listen, the fact that you're doing this is kind of, it's bad for you, and maybe you should think about stop doing this. And in a nice way. I'm not saying use negative opinions to hurt people. I really don't think that you should do that, because you still love your friend, you still care about your friend, and you should be able to use that as a platform for openness and honesty, even if that openness and honesty is not positive. If you only hear the stuff that you want to hear, you're not going to grow at all. That's why so many celebrities lose their minds. They have these mental breakdowns. They have these they go on like a drug bender or an alcohol bender. They become alcoholics, they become drug addicts, simply because they do so many things wrong, and everybody around them is like, good job, man, good job, you keep going. Look at Kanye West. Like, if someone can just say, dude, hey, you're acting a bit wild here, man, you need to stop. But no, I do believe that when somebody ends up in that place, and that's, I guess, the curse of celebrities, that people aren't willing to be honest with you. They just want to tell you what you want to hear because it helps, or they think it helps elevate their social status, and because I think a lot of the times people are really, looking out for themselves. People are really looking out for themselves. So they're not going to want to give you any honesty and openness to say, listen, man, you need to stop acting this way because you're acting crazy. It's not good. It's not healthy. This is not you. And then that person can be like, you know what? This is someone who has always been honest with me. I can take this person's words to heart, and I can use what they're saying to improve myself. So I wish you the best of luck in your self-improvement journey. I think that I believe that it's a worthwhile pursuit. I think if you improve yourself, it starts here. I improve myself, and then those around me see that I'm a better person, and not better than them. No. We're not looking at that. We're not comparing each other. We are only comparing ourselves to who we were yesterday. That's another one of my rules that I have here on my wall. I've got a list of 42 rules that I follow. It's not my list. I didn't come up with it. It's actually Dr. Jordan Peterson who wrote this book. And this book is absolutely excellent. And if you feel like, okay, I'm a bit lost in my life, or my life is a bit too wild, my life is a bit chaotic, I have no control here, I am totally a victim of circumstance, read that book. I highly recommend it, because the subtitle literally says an antidote to chaos. And what the book is, it's basically set up in the form of essays. It's 12 different essays based on this long list of rules that the author came up with, Dr. Jordan Peterson. And he's obviously a very prominent figure on social media and all that. Also a very controversial figure. But anyways, one of his rules is where was I? What was I saying again? Oh my word. This is why I shouldn't allow myself to go on a tangent so much. What was I talking about? One of Jordan Peterson's rules, yes, and it is I can't get to the rule now. Oh yes, there it is. Don't compare yourself to who someone else is today. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. There it is. Actually, I messed up the words. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. And that's chapter 4 in this book, rule number 4. And what that means is that if you can only focus on yourself, if you can only focus on your improvement, on your progress through life, because that's where your efforts should be focused rather. Your attention and your efforts should be focused on just doing better. Can I do a better job? How much of what I'm doing is actually negatively impacting my life? And do I want a better life for myself? If I truly want a better life for myself, why do I keep doing things that go against that desire? Then you decide for yourself, okay, I'm going to stop doing those things, or some of those things, and I'm going to move forward in life. I'm going to improve myself. I'm going to take care of my body. I'm going to take care of my mind. I'm gonna actually speak my mind when I feel like I should, because even that can be damaging to yourself. And the things that I'm mentioning is things that I myself am working on. I'm trying to take care of my body. I'm trying to take care of my mind. So many times you experience real heavy days. Some days are horrible, and the only reason why nobody else had that same horrible day. Maybe there are things that happen in your life, but I think that if you put yourself in a position where you are able to deal better with issues that come along your path, then that's the person that's worth aiming to be. Do you want to be the person that everyone can come to when there's a crisis? Or do you want to be the person running to other people and say, hey, we have a problem, I don't know what to do? Obviously, you can't always know what to do, but it's better to be the person that people can come to say, I need your help. And the only way you can do that is by improving yourself. Because when you improve yourself, those around you improve themselves as well. You improve your life, and because we're all connected, how many billion? 8 billion of us. All 8 billion of us are somehow connected. I know someone who knows 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 King Charles. I know someone who knows 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 the president of South Africa, or we are just all connected in that way, and that's just how that works. We are a network, and what that means is if I improve my link, this is my link in the network. This is my link. If I improve the quality of that, meaning the quality of my life, the quality of those lives that are directly connected to my life can improve. And I think that that's more of a worthwhile pursuit than anything else. But anyways, wild dreams and Valentine's Day, huh? I look like a pastor. I look like I look like a sports announcer. That's not a cool thing. There's a guy on the UFC. His name is Bruce Buffer, and he announces the fights. Like he stands in the ring, he announces the fights, and he has this really distinctive voice. It's like, let's get ready for a round of 3 rounds of fighting. Then when he announces the name, he says, Dricus still not Duplessis, and then the crowd loses like, wow, and that really pumps you up. Like imagine getting announced like that. Imagine on your wedding day you hire that guy, and then when you come out, then he comes out, you guys are not ready for this. Then, wouldn't that be cool? Oh man, I would actually love that. I'm pretty sure that my future wife will probably not appreciate that if that's how I get announced, and she must be the one waiting for me at the end of the aisle, and I get this announcer who busts down the door and is wearing like a gold suit or something. Oh, that would be awesome. Anyways, I get a bit. My mind goes a bit, to interesting places, and it's a fun ride for me. I don't know if it's a fun ride for you, but it's definitely a fun ride to me. I just want to remind everybody of the hotline again. It is 072-012-1804. That's 07-2012-1804. And again, if there's any questions, anything, any story you'd like to share, please do so. Please keep it short though. Keep the voice notes a bit short. Even if you want to send in a video, you can do that. It's fine, perfectly fine. And but again, you have to be willing to accept that what you send in, you're giving me permission to use that on the channel. So yeah, please keep that in mind. Don't send something in and then get mad at me because I shared it on the podcast. So please don't do that. Consider that what you're saying might end up on the internet, and obviously I should be very selective over what gets put on here, because I still want to be able to have a clean brand. I still want to keep this show clean as far as I can, because that also helps YouTube to see that this guy is doing a good job. People are watching what he's doing or listening to what he's doing, and we can support him financially. So that's the goal at the end of the day. So like I said, please subscribe if you haven't already, and please share this thing far and wide. I think that's the Valentine's gift that you can give to me, and I appreciate that very much. That's the hotline, everybody. Once again, 072-012-1804. That's 07-2012-1804. So what else, man? What else have I been up to? I've been telling myself that I must continue reading. It's been such a wild ride these past few days, or let's say this past week. I haven't even gotten around to reading, and I'm actually in the middle of reading this book here, Money, Master the Game. And what the book offers, it's written by Tony Robbins, who's a very interesting character, just very interesting character. But the book offers 7 ways in which the super wealthy make money, and it's ways that have previously been kept to themselves. oh, this is how I make money, but I'm not going to tell anybody, you know. And what he's done is he's actually interviewed, you know, some of the wealthiest people in the world, some of the most successful people in the world, and been on a very, you know, focused direction for this book, just to say, let me give the readers the raw advice, the raw strategies, the raw plans that you do, the things that you do to make money. Let me give that to the ordinary person, because that's gonna bring their lives up. That's gonna uplift them, you know. And I think that's maybe the ultimate goal of financial achievement, financial wealth, or any achievement really, is if you can go back, you can achieve this thing, and then you take what you've achieved and you go and you uplift others, you know. That's why people who are successful athletes eventually become a coach of more successful athletes, because now they have this wealth of experience, of knowledge, and they can transfer that over to somebody else so that they may improve their quality of life. And that's also a very constant theme in that book as well. It's like, just remember, no matter how wealthy you get, make sure you are giving. No matter how little money you have, make sure you are giving. You know, even if there's no money to give something, give your time, give your knowledge, give your experience, you know, help people. Because I think if we can all help each other out in this world, we can elevate the entire world together. Because like I said, we are all connected, and if I improve my life can help improve somebody else's life. And because that person's life is connected to so many other lives, it grows and compounds and it grows, and then we all get better. We all get put in a better place in the world. So yeah, that's what I've been reading. Obviously not this past week, but I'm trying to get back into this. It's a 680 page volume, and you know, that for me is a challenge. But challenges excite me. Challenges truly excite me. What did I do this weekend? Let's see. Okay, Friday, nothing, man. Friday I just chilled at home, and that's sometimes a nice thing to do. Sometimes very. Actually, most Fridays I'm chilling at home, so it's something that I have gotten used to over time, and something that I enjoy very much. Just to chill at home, man. You know, once in a while, you know, spend time around people, you know, be social, but most of the time I just like being at home. And let's see, Saturday I had organ lessons. I have 5 students that I'm teaching to play the organ at church, you know, so it's absolutely free, but that's just because they are members of the church. And I really don't do it for the money. I don't do it for the money. You know, I don't want to get paid for that kind of thing. For me, the reward is taking someone from 0 and putting them at 1. You know, 0 to 1, because that difference, you know, the mathematician will tell you that the increase of 0 to 1 is infinite, because 0 is 0. You cannot multiply 0 with anything to get anything else. You know, you can multiply 0 with 1 billion, and you're not going to get anything out of that. It's going to be 0. You know, so taking someone from 0 and making them 1, that's infinite. That's an infinite difference between the two. You know, and if you're adding, it's just like, oh, 1 and 0. Oh, 1 is just 1 more than 0. Like, yeah, okay, cool. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the value difference in that. But anyways, so yeah, I gave some organ lessons. I have 5 students. 2 of them cancelled, so that was fine. Three students was cool. 2 of them beginners, and they are really taking an interest in it. And if you're interested, if you have ever thought about it, you're like, you know, I'd like to take up a musical instrument. I'd like to become a musician. I say go for it, because yes, there will be some difficult times ahead. Yes, there will be times where you'll be so frustrated with yourself that you even feel like giving up. But when you get past that feeling, when you play something after having practiced it so long and getting it perfectly right, the way that you practiced it, there's no better feeling. There's no better feeling than that. And shout out to all the musicians who are listening, and they know what I'm talking about. And if you are interested in becoming a musician, don't let anyone stop you from doing it. Just do it. Don't let your age stop you. Don't let your place in life stop you. Don't let your circumstances stop you. There's always a way. There's always someone willing to help you, to assist you. So please, you use that to your advantage if that's what you want to do. And I think that applies for everything. If you want to learn to do jiu-jitsu, if you want to learn jiu-jitsu, go and learn jiu-jitsu, man. Anything that requires effort and that eventually ends up with you being better than what you were, being more than what you were before, is a worthwhile pursuit. If you improve yourself, you help others to improve themselves. Anyways, that was I don't know, someone speeding off, I guess. Like I said, I'm in my bedroom. I said in the previous episode, this is my bedroom. Maybe I'll show you guys around. If I hit 100 subscribers, let's put it out there, 100 subscribers, then I'll show you how my bedroom looks. I'm sure you can see a bit of it though through the mirror, just a little bit. But yeah, this is my bedroom, and I'd like to show you around. And luckily you don't have to be here for that, because I don't really like it when people are in my room, actually. But yeah, if I reach 100 subscribers, I promise you I'll make a whole tour video of my room. Yeah, what else, man? I guess, I've been trying to be a bit more self-aware, like in my thoughts. What am I thinking? Why am I thinking it? What are those thoughts causing me to feel? What are my actions causing me to feel? I think I'm just trying to be more self-aware because I'm an extrovert. So my attention most of the time is focused outward. I'm focused on the world outside. I'm focused on how people are doing, how people are feeling, wondering what they're thinking. I've always been fascinated with people's thoughts. And I decided, okay, I need to turn that inward as well, because I need to figure out what's going on with me. You can't be dealing with, you can't be in a difficult place in your life and not study your own mind, because maybe the answer might be sitting there. Maybe you're like, why am I unable to catch a break? Why am I unable to reach any level of success, or why am I unable to progress in any way? And that just, being able to zoom in. In the last episode I spoke about zooming out. Let me zoom in. And that's what I've been telling myself. Let me zoom in. Let me figure out what's going on in this micro universe. Because this universe, there's a lot going on and I can't pay attention to it all. But at least I can sit in some quiet moments and try and figure that out. So I've been thinking about really the relationship between the mind and the body, because it's such an interesting relationship. There's times where your mind demands, the wheel. Your mind wants to take the wheel. There's times where your body has to take the wheel. And I find that the relationship between mind and body very interesting, because, for example, let's say for the most part your mind is in charge. Or rather, your mind should be in charge. I hope that's the case for you as well. And your mind is the one that makes decisions. Your mind is the one that says you need to hold this microphone this close to your face, at least the first distance apart. Your mind is the one that says, Xavier, you need to move your mouth, you need to say these words, and your body is what executes it. So there's sort of a master and slave relationship with your mind and your body. But it's not to say that your mind is the master 100% of the time. There are times where your body is the master. Like, for example, when you are hungry, and I'm not saying like, oh, it's lunchtime, it's time to eat. No, I mean, you are starving, like you are shaking, you're like, I need to eat. If you're like that, then your body takes over. Because then maybe your mind is like, we need to get this thing done. We need to finish this podcast. We need to, finish this episode of whatever I'm watching on Netflix. Then you're like, but I need to eat. And then you're like, forget Netflix. Let me go eat. And that's your body becoming the master. Obviously, that's a silly example. And so I decided to read up on it, and I've been reading it in. It's called Beyond Good and Evil by Friedrich Nietzsche. You know, I don't think it's wise. I wouldn't recommend that you read two books at the same time because, like, you know, it's a lot to think about. It's a very big mental exercise, and when you're done reading both those books, or when you're done with your reading session, having read two different books, one about finance and one about philosophy, your brain is completely melted. You're like, I can't think anymore, you know. So yeah, like that's what I've been reading about. That Nietzsche talks about. He talks about the relationship between the mind and the body, and that we shouldn't fool ourselves in thinking that our mind is the master all the time. The master and slave relationship isn't necessarily outside; it's internal, and you have to be careful when your body decides to become the master. What is the consequences? Because I've made a very innocent example that when I'm hungry, my body decides to take the wheel, and now we need to eat. We need to make a sandwich, and we need to eat. But there are many other cases, and this is why he mentions this, because Nietzsche was very focused on morality, you know, and a very very interesting thing about Nietzsche was that he didn't believe it. He said, or he encourages the reader not to buy into the idea of opposites, you know. Try to explore things in a very nuanced way. Don't think of something as, no, it's black or it's white, you know, because those are absolutes, and life is a lot more complicated. The reality is a lot more complicated than black and white, you know, because even when you watch a movie that's in black and white, and I love old movies. The last time I watched, I think, was Citizen Kane. Very good movie. If you're into films, if you're into like how the directors angle stuff, and how the writers write a story, and how the actors portray their roles, that is one of the coolest movies to watch. If you're just someone who likes to be entertained, please don't watch that movie. But anyways, I digress, which is really the theme of this show in general, is that I digress. I was saying, so you have to look at everything with a nuanced perspective. You can't just think that things are good or they are bad, because there's a lot in between. You can't just think that people are either good or people are bad, because a good person is capable of doing bad things, and a bad person is capable of doing good things. And to see someone as just a good person, even if that person does bad things, you can't say that that's a good person. And if it's a bad person that does good things, you can't say that that's a bad person. So it's like, it's very nuanced, and all of us are like this. You know, in another book I read called The Gulag Archipelago, which is a book about the prison camps in Russia during the Soviet era, where the communist government would just arrest people, sometimes even randomly. If someone just said that this person is anti-communist, then you would just be taken, even if you are communist, even if you do support the government, then you'd be arrested and you'd be put in a prison camp to basically starve to death, to work yourself to death and to starve to death, or even to be tortured. And the author was one of the victims of this system, this prison system. And you know, based on his experiences, he said he doesn't believe that people are either good or evil. He says that the line between good and evil runs straight through the heart of every human being. And that, I'm sure Solzhenitsyn, his surname is Solzhenitsyn, is a Russian author, Alexander Solzhenitsyn. And the book that he wrote, which is quite remarkable, was one of the documents. And it's like a 7-volume book, you know. I read the one that's like abridged. It's like just it's still a dense book, but it's a collection of stories of people's experiences in the Gulag Archipelago, in the Gulag prison system, of just ordinary citizens being placed, you know, in prison and being left to fend for themselves in the snow and in the cold, and having their freedoms completely taken away from them without any cause, you know, and the torture that they received during those times. I'm not going to go into that because it's pretty dark stuff, but that book helped bring down the Soviet Union, because the Western world was completely unaware of what was going on in Russia, and a lot of the citizens in the Soviet Union also had no idea. They just saw, okay, some people go missing, but eventually it brought down the whole Soviet Union, and that was amazing. It was truly an amazing moment, and the fact that a book can do that, So yeah, if there's something you believe in, if there's something you believe that needs to go out into the world, write it down. Please write it down. I write almost every day in my journal, just trying to get these thoughts out of there and then read it again to try and sort through it and figure it out. And this is also one of the ways that I journal. But anyway, so we're back to nuances, right? So the interesting thing about the and this is how I'm connecting it to the mind and the body is that you have to be careful, especially during the times when your mind is in charge of your body. What are you doing? What is your intentions? What is your goals? And then also on the other hand, looking at how your life or what your body is doing when it's in charge. Because sometimes you're doing something that might ruin your life. Sometimes you are involved in actions, in activities that simply motivated by the needs or the desires of your body that cause damage and pain to others, whether it's emotional or physical, in the case of when you lose your cool, that's when your mind stops being in control and your body takes over. It becomes a dangerous situation. On the other hand, your mind can also be the thing that's causing pain and violence, and that's when you have to your body has to stop you to say, hey man, you're about to say something very mean to somebody, or you're about to hurt somebody's feelings in a very bad way, you're about to break someone down, so you should maybe just cool it and stop, and that's why I think, us as human beings, nobody's good or bad. There are times when you're a good person and there are times when you're a bad person, and it's very complicated, and I think for me, if I want to be focused on being a better person, if I want to be focused on being a better me than I was yesterday, then I need to be constantly focused on what my actions are, what my thoughts are, because that's the mind-body paradigm. And if I make sure that the master is a good master and the slave is obedient, meaning if my mind is a good mind and my body is obedient to that good mind, then I believe good things can happen for me and for those around me. Or on the other hand, if my mind is able to execute good instructions from my body, positive instructions from my body, then that's now the reverse of that, but with the same goal in mind, that then my body does good things as well. I'm speaking very abstractly, but you can fill in the blanks for yourself in terms of what that means practically. I'm just thinking, like, we make a lot of decisions, like people who enjoy junk food, and junk food is nice. I enjoy junk food as well. But if you have too much of that, if your brain decides that your body needs this more than healthy food, is that going to be good for you? Probably not. It's not going to be good for you at all. So that's what the whole idea of that is. It's so important that you give yourself that. And if you want to be a good master is good to his slave. And a good slave serves his master well. So recognize that is in you. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm recognizing that the mind and the body are the master and the slave, and they switch roles constantly. And when they switch roles, there shouldn't be a difference as to what the outcome is. It must always be a good outcome. And that's just a striving. I don't think we're capable of only doing good and only being good. They are rare exceptions, and those are the people, I guess, that we can call them saints when they give their lives to a good cause, and they die as a result, and that's how you become a saint. And I guess if you believe in love, and this is just to go to full circle in terms of speaking about what was said in church, I think the praising of the Lord, if you believe in God and you believe that God is love, where he says, we said in scripture that God is love. If you believe in God, it means you believe in love. And the act of love, be it telling your friend or your family member something that they don't want to hear, but something that they need to hear in order to better themselves. Telling yourself something that you don't want to hear, but that you should hear because it will help you better yourself. That is an act of love. Helping somebody that needs help, even offering help is an act of love. Even if that person declines your help, it's like, okay, at least I offered my help, and when that person accepts my help, then I do my best to help that person. That is an act of love. When my enemy can call me out on all my nonsense, I should be able to say, my enemy, I love you. I don't appreciate what you're saying to me, but I do love you because what you are saying, it hurts right now, but it's going to help me to improve. And I think if you make love the central part, meaning you make God the central part of your life, of your heart, if you treat everybody with love and with kindness, no matter what they've done, that's not for you to judge. It's not for you to judge. Then you truly embody the spirit of the good. And that's what I think, will make the world a better place. I think the fact that there's so much nonsense in the world, so much conflict, so much greed, so much violence, so much, bad things happening by the hands of human beings, that, that just means we've forgotten to love. And I guess that's something that, whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're about to ask that young lady or that young gentleman out, if you're about to do that, then whether any of that is the case, or whether you're not interested in dating, or whether you are, embittered by the fact that it's Valentine's Day, or all of that, or any of that, if you pursue love, then the world can be a better place. Your world can be better. The world of those around you can be better. And in that way, you influence the hearts of everybody to become a more loving person. And that's a better person. And I think that's the end of the show. That's a nice way to end. I think that's a good place to end. So, once again, thank you everybody for your amazing support. It's been super overwhelming and really in a good way. Overwhelming in a very good way. And I can't thank you all enough for what you've been able to give me, which is your support, and I appreciate that, and yeah, thank you so much. So yeah, let's go again. The hotline. If you have any thoughts to what I said, if you have any feedback you would like to give me, please do so on the hotline. But the two things that I really want to hear, that I want to include in the next episode, is what was your worst Valentine's Day? What was your best Valentine's Day? One of the two. Give me one of the two. And also, what's the wildest dream you've had? Like when you wake up, you're like, that was insane. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and can't wait to see you next week. Bye bye.